It's time, Michael. Happy Halloween, everybody. We are going to rank this franchise once again. I did it last year, except I left out Halloween 2018, so now we are going to right that wrong. This is completely different. I rewatched all these movies. I marathoned them about a month ago, and I've had some time to think about it, and now this is my new list, and I will go over very quickly just a few small things I like and hate or dislike about each movie. Just very quick. Not going to spend like a whole 10 minutes on each one. So just get through this and let's start at the very bottom, shall we? What is my number 11 now? My number 11, no shocker here, is Halloween Resurrection. I think this movie is just very blah. Like even like a casual horror fan who doesn't even know that much about the Myers franchise or hasn't watched any of them could watch Halloween Resurrection and know that it's just a bad movie. It's not that good. You got Busta Rhymes, I think he's terrible, although he's the most entertaining character, but he's also the worst character at the same time. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. That's Busta Rhymes. He's entertaining because everybody else is so dull, forgettable. You don't know anybody's names or who they are. It's just group of dipshits go in house and die one by one. It's awful. And I don't like the Myers mask. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not good. The whole eyebrow thing, that's a small thing to criticize, but you know me, I criticize small things all the time. I like the Myers house. I like that they actually rebuilt the whole thing. I like the score. It's very small. I like that they bring back Jamie Lee Curtis, but I don't like what they do with her character. If you're going to kill her in the right way. Don't just bring her up to the roof and somehow she has this big, elaborate thing set up with the whole hook thing. Like, how is she what? How do you do that? Like, no one caught her doing that? Like, I could go on and on. But yeah, Halloween Resurrection, horrible movie, horrible ending to this franchise of that original or second timeline, really. What an awful way to end that timeline with this. And then the whole evil lives on thing. Yeah, fuck you. Moving on. Number 10 for me, surprisingly enough, this is going to be controversial, especially since I've seen so many people who like this movie and I don't get it. And that's Halloween H2O. I do not care for this movie. I don't like the atmosphere. I don't like the look of it. I don't like the characters outside of Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't even think Josh Hartnett's that good in this film. I don't care for him and his little girlfriend. I don't care about that Jumanji kid. He was casted wrong. Like, he's talking about, like, sex every single scene he's in. He's, like, horny. And the way he walks, I don't know what he does with his head, but it's so weird. Even Michael, he's the worst Michael, in my opinion, in the entire franchise, but still, this movie is above Resurrection. What's that tell you? Yeah, Resurrection's pretty bad. So, worst Myers, 4 mask, bad atmosphere, doesn't feel like a Halloween film at all. Jamie Lee Curtis is back. It's the first one that completely retcons 4 through 6. I hate that crap. I'm a continuity person. The score completely ruined by making it feel like all grand and orchestra-like so like awful. It's just awful. I don't like it. There's very small things I like about this, and I'm struggling to think of some right now. I like the third act. It's honestly the only watchable thing in the movie. It's the shortest film, but it feels like the longest film because there's not that much going on. Michael barely does shit. He's not that menacing. And he, like the other Michaels we've seen before, would kill those 2 people in that bathroom easily. Wouldn't think twice about it. But this one's just like, I just need your keys, ma'am. And then just leaves. It's just not that good. I like the third act, though. I like the whole battle between Laurie and Michael. But that's about as far as my likes for this film go. I'm struggling to think of other stuff. That's really it. I like the opening. I like... what's his name? Gordon Levitt, whatever his name is. Jimmy. I like his character. He's funny. He stands out. And that's about it. Number 9, we'll go to Halloween 5. Halloween 5 has a shit ton of mistakes in it. I could make a whole 30-minute video about it. Seriously, like, what the fuck? This was a film that was made without a script fully completed. They were just like, all right, let's green light it right now. We don't have a script. Who cares? Let's go. Halloween 4 was a success. And they ruin that ending of Halloween 4 if you consider this canon. They make Jamie a mute. They kill Rachel in the first 20 minutes, but not in a good way. Like, they just completely throw away her character. They introduce someone else who does not fit that role better or, like, make it, like, excusable. Like, oh, well, at least Tina's a good replacement. No. You kill off Rachel, a beloved character, and you replace her with this person. Yeah, fuck that. The whole cop thing, the horn noises, the witch doctor guy. If he is a witch doctor, it's never said out loud, but I'll just say he's a witch doctor to make it make somewhat sense why he's taking care of Michael for a whole fucking year. The score in this film is lazy. Loomis is the creepiest of them all, and just really here to be Loomis. Like, he's just here for fan service. Like, we need Loomis because that will make it feel more like a Halloween movie. The Man in Black thing, so many mistakes. But what I like about this movie, I like Don Shanks as Michael Myers. He's way better than Chris Duran or Brad Lorre. He's menacing. There's some good kills in here. I think there's some decent cinematography. I like the barn scene. This is the first time we ever see couples actually use condoms for sex. You don't see that too often in horror movies. They usually just get down to it. But this guy he's using condoms. Good for you, Spitz. You got some entertaining characters, Spitz. That prank he did, fucking stupid. He should have been killed. That would have been funny if he got shot by those doofus cops. But they didn't. Yeah, lucky for you, we're bad cops. And then the horror music starts playing. Oh, I like the car chase sequence. I like the laundry chute sequence. There's some pretty good moments in here that if you made like a compilation video of it and just put it all together, that's really all you need to see of this movie. So Halloween 5, this is where you're going to be, right here. Number 8 goes to Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Now, if you watched my last ranking video, I did not like this movie at all. It was probably the second time I had seen it, or I have no idea. Like, this is the one I've seen the least, and I never even heard about it until like a few years after the fact. Like, I never knew it was at theaters. I never saw it at theaters. I saw the first one at theaters when it came out in 2007, but I just somehow missed this one. I have no idea why. It just did. And when I finally saw it, I was just very let down because in my mind, I was like, this isn't like the original Timeline Myers at all. I like that Myers. This is too different. It was just too different. It was like Jason Goes to Hell to me. But this time when I watched it, I was able to separate this Myers from the Myers that I know and love. This is hobo, Robin Williams, Jumanji, fresh out of the game type of fucking Myers. It's just way different. But if I look at it like a slasher movie, and that's it, and I just like erase the names Myers, it's an okay movie. I just do not care for Laurie's like a constant screaming and yelling like, fuck you, bitch, fuck you, you fucking, just saying fuck all the time. She has like Charles Manson on her wall, like she worships him. I don't like her character at all. I understand why she is the way she is, but from an audience standpoint, it annoys the piss out of me. I like Danielle Harris. I like Brad Dourif. I'm a huge Chucky fan. It has the best like emotional scene out of the whole franchise. It has some good cinematography. There's some good brutal kills in here. The head stomp. I love Tyler Mane as Myers. He's like my third favorite Myers, behind Nick Castle and James Jude Courtney. I like that they bring back the mask from the first one. This is like the only one that brought back the original mask from the previous movie. But I guess you could argue 1 and 2 did also, but it looks so different. This one actually looks the same. It's just ripped in half. There's some pretty, like I said, awesome kills, good stuff in it, but as a Myers movie, as a Halloween movie, I can't like watch it as that. It's just way too different. Like, if I'm going to stick in a Halloween movie, this isn't one that I'll stick in very often. And now that I got the theatrical cut, I can actually enjoy it a little bit more, because the theatrical cut I've never seen until like the other day. And they really like shorten like all those like therapy sessions with Laurie, so it's a little bit more bearable. So yeah, I like it. But the hospital scene, love that stuff. So yeah, there you go. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, number 8, I believe. Number 7 goes to Rob Zombie's Halloween. Now this is a big change. Both of Rob Zombie's movies changed for me dramatically. In my last ranking, I believe this was top 3 or 4, like at 3 or 4, because I just really dug it. I think there's a little bit of nostalgia attached to this one. This came out when I was like 13, so I saw it at theaters, and I really enjoyed it. There's some great things going for this. The bad things about it, I will say, is that, yeah, it just rips off, like, it's like a greatest hits of, like, John Carpenter's, but just Rob Zombie style. It's like, here's the Bob and Linda scene, here's this scene, here's the chase, and here's Michael stalking her. It just repeats all those beats in the third act. So it's just a remake, but just Rob Zombie style, a little bit more gritty, a little bit more brutal. I like Tyler Mane. I like him in this one a lot more. He actually feels like Myers because he really is Myers. And then there's not that white horse shit. Ugh. But I love the atmosphere of this one. It feels way more like Halloween than the original John Carpenter Halloween. This one had more of a budget, so I guess that kind of helped it. But I like the whole exploration of Myers. I don't care for the whole dialogue at the beginning, like, damn, your daughter's got a nice dumper. These are chicken abortions. It's just, who thought that was, like, good? Like, seriously? Like, you're gonna start your movie with that? Like, ease into it. It's just like, no. I'm gonna come all over those flappy ass titties, and it's that bad. It's like, holy crap. It's very hard to listen to it. Like, you just want to take a shower after listening to it. And the director's cut, the whole rape thing, I'm not putting that in. Like, I would watch, if I was gonna watch that one, then this would probably rank lower because I just hate that scene. It makes no sense why someone would want to rape someone in Michael Myers' room. That's just dumb. When he breaks out, that's the version I watch. That's the version that makes this number 7. I love when he just kills Bill Moseley, just kills him. He's a brute. It's awesome. So yeah, Rob Zombie's Halloween. I love the mask too. Great stuff. Love the addition of Danielle Harris, bringing her back. But anyways, I've talked enough about this movie. I said I wasn't going to talk too much about each one, but look at me. I'm a liar. Moving on, number 6, Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2. Thank God they're not calling Halloween Kills Halloween 2. That would piss me off. How many Halloween 2s do we need? We already got 3 Halloween 1s. Halloween 2, 1981. I love Bud. Let's start with that. I love Bud's character. Amazing Grace. Come sit on my face. Love that guy. Got some great kills in here too. It feels like the first movie, directed by Rick Rosenthal. I think he does a good job of capturing that John Carpenter style somewhat. He's in the alleyways and he's going after he's in the Elrod house. It just, there's great moments in here, but there's just stuff that irritates the piss out of me. I wish they would have just brought back Nick Castle. I don't like how Dick Warlock walks in this movie. He's the most zombified of them all. It's just annoying. And Jamie Lee Curtis, she's like a secondary character. Or Laurie Strode is a secondary character. She's just comatose, and then it's like, is she faking her coma at one point? Or like, how does she pull that off? And she woke up conveniently when, I don't know. But there's some iconic kills, there's iconic shots. I shot him 6 times, and except in this one, he shoots 7 times. That's ridiculous. Like, why? Why did they do that? Him getting shot in the face, like, in the first one, he's supernatural-ish. In this one, he is just full-on supernatural. There's no question about it. And how he has eyes in any other sequel makes no sense. It's just a dumb scene. Even Dick Warlock said he didn't like it. The whole... It's just... Good visual with the blood tears, but that's about as good as it is. It's just, as a visual, it's good. Logically, what the hell were they thinking? You could tell that John Carpenter was really just drinking and writing the script, which I heard that's what happened. The whole brother-sister angle thing, I'm not a fan of that at all. It really just takes away from the first movie where it's just random. And when you add that to the reason, it just makes that extra convenient and like, really, come on. Laurie Strode doesn't even find out that she's the brother or sister of Michael Myers, so it makes that information completely useless. So now it's ruining the first one for no reason. But I like the score. I like the updated sound to it. It's very catchy. It's different. They updated it. I like the keeping with the pumpkin opening. There's like the skull inside the pumpkin, like that stuff. Like the beginning where he's going through the alleys. Like I said, there's moments in here. I don't like the cat jump scare. I hate that. You know me. I hate the whole cat jumps out the screen. Who throws away their cat? That makes no sense. Number 5. This is another dramatic change because I think this one was number 8, 7 or 8. It was up there in the bottom 3 or 4. Now it's number 5. Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, or just Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, or Halloween 666, whatever you want to call it. Producer's cut or theatrical, I don't care. It's right here. Number 5, right in the middle. I think this movie easily has the best atmosphere of the whole franchise. It feels the most like Halloween next to part 4. I like the score, the way they added like these drums and guitar sounds. I wasn't crazy about it before, but I just think it fits the craziness of this movie because it's the most dark, it's the most brutal Myers. There's all kinds of crazy gory kills that you didn't get to see before because the MPAA, they kind of fucked off in the 90s and said, okay, we'll let this slide. But in the late 80s with Halloween 4 and 5, they're like, no, you can't do that. So 4 and 5 are watered down, but Halloween 6 has some great kills. I love seeing that Dick John get his head just blown off. Why is the washing machine running when the power's out? That's a good question, John. Good question. Just great cinematography in this movie as well. I like Barry Sims because I love Silent Night, Deadly Night. So when I saw him, I was like, oh, he's from that movie. Sweet. Paul Rudd, this is his first performance, and I'm not crazy about him. I think it looks weird. It's just off-putting, like the faces he makes. Loomis is completely unnecessary in this movie, and it's bittersweet because he died right before this movie was released. So it's just like, ugh, why you gotta be in this? You're not needed, and it's just sad. They killed Jamie Lloyd in a very like distasteful way. It's like, all right, we don't need you no more. You're dead. Jamie Lloyd had a shitty life. Lost her mom at 10 years old, got chased by a monster for like a year straight, and then was kidnapped and raped for like 8 years after that, and then died. That's fucked up. That's a horrible life. I think this has one of the better performances by Michael Myers. He's definitely in my top 4 right there. I like George P. Wilbur. This is the better performance from him since like part 4. He was in part 4, but I like it better than this one. The mask is easily the best since the original, so I love that. And there's just all kinds of great stuff about this movie. The biggest thing though that weighs it down is the overall story and explanation. This movie went out of its way to explain part 5. Well, here's what they were trying to do, and that's what really cursed this film, was trying to make up for part 5, and it ruins the movie. When you look at all that cult shit, it really bums me out, because it has all these great things going for it, but the story, meh. Alright, number 4. You've been wondering where this is and where it was going to be, most likely, out of all of them. This is the one you were most curious about. Halloween 2018, number 4. Yes, I know there's conveniences here and there, but let's be honest, they got a lot of things right, and they did stupid shit that was wrong, and I get it. Yes, peanut butter on my penis. Hate that. His character, completely useless. Karen, she's very one note at some moments where she's like giving these speeches about her childhood. It's like, was that the first take? I wasn't crazy about Karen. It plays it safe. All 3 of them live. Come on, someone needs to die. Add some weight to this film. The convenience is, why is Michael in the babysitter's closet when he just went house to house murdering people, and now he's like, I'm gonna chill for a while. Just gonna take a rest. I'm gonna take a break. That makes no sense. There's comedy where there shouldn't be, and there's just characters that are very useless or not very well fleshed out, and they're just kind of like here to serve like one tiny purpose. Like, I'm gonna throw your cell phone away. Okay, see you later, guys. I'm out of the movie now because I did my one thing. I threw her cell phone in the pudding. And then the other guy, Sartain, that reveal, brick in the face. Oh, where the fuck did this come from? That literally like pissed me off the first time. Like, that was the moment in the movie where I got scared. I'm like, where is this going? And then it went nowhere. So that's another thing that irritates me about it. But there's so many good things about the movie that it still manages to get higher up on my list because I love the way, I think this is one of the better shot Halloweens. I think it has some good cinematography as well. I think it has a decent Halloween atmosphere. Not the best. It's nowhere near the best, but a good one. I like brutal Myers in this movie. He's the best of both worlds. He's got the brutality of Tyler Mane and that stalker creepiness of Nick Castle. And he's easily my favorite Michael Myers actor next to Nick Castle. And I'm not even sure if he's coming back. They haven't confirmed it, so I'm a little worried about that. If they hire somebody else, I'm going to be a little upset. But if this new guy and kills and ends, does a good job, I won't mind. But James Ducournau is awesome. The mask is great. I loved that the way they aged it, and it kind of looks like the William Shatner mask, but slightly different. I mean, I don't know how they can't just get that original fucking mask back. Is there a rights issue? What the hell's going on? They did it before. Why can't they just do it again? I don't get it. But I like all the little winks and callbacks. It's a little heavy-handed at times. Like, okay, we get it. But overall, it's still a fun movie. It's got some great kills. It's got a great like tracking shot that was spoiled in the trailer. This movie suffers from a bad trailer that ruined shit, like that closet scene I was talking about. But yeah, it's just a fun movie. It's a fun time. I don't get bored. There's just annoying things here and there that really irritate me. But that's the same for all of them. So Halloween 2018, the title, that's another thing that irritates me. Call it something else. Number 4, Halloween 2018. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween. Number 3 goes to Halloween 3, Silver Shamrock. I adore this movie. I have an odd relationship with this movie because when I saw it, when I was like very young, I don't know, I never marked it down on the calendar. Like, this is when I first watched it. I don't know. I'll never know. I was probably around 10, who knows. But I did not like it. I was one of those kids who had that experience like, where's Myers? I don't get it. This is called Halloween 3. So yeah, that was very interesting. I don't even think I finished the movie. I was like, fuck this, turn it off. But years later, I don't know when exactly, once again, I rewatched it and I enjoy it. When I separate it from the Halloween franchise, I can enjoy this. I love the twisted idea behind these masks just melting kids' heads and inserting like cockroaches and snakes and crickets or whatever into their heads. It's witch magic, whatever, black magic. There's a weird explanation. It's over the top. It's weird as hell, but it's got that 80s charm. Tom Atkins, love that guy. He can do no wrong so far that I've seen. They waste his character, Maniac Cop. I wasn't a fan of that movie at all, but at least he's in it. But yeah, whatever. Maniac Cop's not good. Don't watch it. But you got Tom Atkins, you got Stacey Nelkin. You got some great comedy in here every now and then. I think it's a ballsy move to make your protagonist this womanizer who's just constantly getting laid at work. Like, they don't show it, but you hear like the interactions between him and all the other workers. Like, man, this guy's getting laid left and right. He's fucking all his employees and co-workers. And he's got these 2 kids that by the end he probably lost. So I just love that ending, the whole open ending, the ambiguous ending, just like the original, where it's like, he's out there. In this one, it's like the whole world just lost their children or they didn't. But there's logical issues, of course, like why kids would even wear the mask to watch this commercial. Is like everyone's trick-or-treating at different times, so there's kids that won't be watching that commercial at the same time. Therefore, word would get out from the East Coast to the West Coast. Like, dude, don't watch that commercial. Everyone on the East Coast is dead now. You know what I mean? Like, and then the fact that they bring in this family that sold the most mask and they reward them with death. And they're testing out this mask the night that they're planning to unleash all that. Like, really? The night of? That makes no sense. But I like the bad guy, Cochran. Is that his name? Colonel Cochran? Is that what they call him? I forget his name. But just a great performance by him. And it's just, I love it. Just great gnarly kills. Some of the most brutal gnarly kills in the franchise. With the whole like skull pulling, the head ripping off. Dick Warlock was in here. Even Jamie Lee Curtis has a cameo as a voice. And Nancy Loomis, who plays Annie in the first Halloween, she's in here as Tom Atkins' wife. And she was married to Tommy Lee Wallace at the time. So yeah, just a great movie. It's very awesome. So it's underrated, underappreciated. Check it out. If you dismissed it before because it didn't have Michael Myers in it, I highly recommend you check it out again because it's just fun. It's different, it's unique, and it's a blast. So Halloween 3, number 3. Number 2 goes to Halloween 4. This movie I saw probably the most on TV. Growing up, I always saw 1, 2, 4, 5 on TV, but especially 4, 5 the most. For some reason, I always caught those 2 all the time. And this might have one of the worst masks next to H2O and Halloween 5, but Halloween 5 and 4's masks, they grow on me. Like, each time I can just ignore it, and I might even like them a little bit more because I'm just so used to it. Whereas for some reason, H2O and Resurrection, I just look at the mask and I'm bothered by it the whole time. But in 4 and 5, I can forgive them. You know, I guess it's just nostalgia there. But this one has great atmosphere, once again. These are things I look for when I watch movies. When I watch these Halloween movies, I always look for that great Halloween atmosphere. This one has probably the best next to Part 6. The whole opening with all the autumn shots, and they got rid of the pumpkin opening, but I like this new opening. I like the score. I like Myers, the whole like head bandage thing, and he's brutal in this one too. Like I like when he uses a gun to kill Kelly Meeker. I don't like that we don't get to see Kelly Meeker naked. We see some side boob, but come on, we're 4 movies into a franchise, and we're not gonna see tits. 1, 2, and I think 3 had boobs, and now 4, you're gonna be like, nope, no boobs, no, not anymore. Come on, man. There's, of course, logic issues here and there. There's that horrible mask, the Ben Tramer mask, in that school scene. What the fuck was that? This is probably my favorite Loomis since the original. I like his performance in here, and I like that scene when he sees like Jack Sayer or Sawyer, and he basically sees himself like, oh, I'm the crazy doomsday guy, and here it's like a mirror reflection. And I like Danielle Harris. This was her introduction to the franchise. She is a phenomenal child actress. You don't get too many that are like this. Like she has a lot of emotion from that she has to go through with her character, and it's believable throughout. The way she's getting bullied by those kids, why she wants to impress those kids and go get like a costume to impress them. Why? Fuck them. And how they know who her uncle is? She's got a completely different last name. How would they know? She's Jamie Lloyd. She's not Jamie Strode or Jamie Myers. How do they know who her uncle is? Another little logic issue I have with the movie is that when she sees the ambulance, that makes no sense. How does she see that? Are they connected? They don't say that, and it's never really a thing until part 5. The whole like connected thing, like oh no, they can see the same thing. But she's seeing Myers in his new mask that he hasn't even retrieved yet, and she's seeing the ambulance that's parked in a lake like 200 miles away. How the fuck is that? Like, I need answers to that. That's the biggest question I have from Halloween 4 is, what's that? How? So, yeah. But I love Jamie Lloyd, love the atmosphere, love the kills in this movie. I'm not crazy about the mask, but I like the score. It's a fun Halloween movie. I love that whole roof chase sequence. They were supposed to have like a fire in that sequence, but they didn't have the budget, I guess. So no fire, but still a great sequence. So Halloween 4, number 2. And of course, number 1 is Halloween. I'm about to go watch it right now because it's Halloween as I'm filming this, and I'm going to go watch it. That's my tradition now. I watch Halloween every Halloween. So it's, what can I say about it that hasn't already been said? It's got the most iconic score of all time, my favorite score of all time, the easiest thing to play on piano. It's like 3 keys, and you can go down and down and down the keyboard. It's the best sound, the best Myers next to James June Courtney, the best mask. It's the great characters, they're just everyday characters. This movie basically set the template for slashers, except the gore. It's missing the gore, but this was before that time. I feel like Friday the 13th really like kicked the doors open when it came to like practical effects and gore, and then everybody was like, okay, we need to do that. This one was before that time, so you don't have the gore, so that's a letdown if you're a gore hound. But this movie has so many other things going for it that doesn't stand out like, oh, if only that was. No, like it's still a great movie. Today's generation, I showed this movie to my little sister. She hated it. Well, she didn't hate it, but she was like, the acting's so poor from everybody, and this movie's so boring. What? I can see the acting, but boring? What scene? Like them walking down the street? Yeah, I guess, but that's character development. We're seeing them as friends and how they like. We see their chemistry together. Like that's what that's for. It's not that long of a movie, so yeah, I don't know. Just there's people out there, they look at this movie like it's boring. It's not enough kills. There's no gore. There's boobs. You got that. Linda Hamilton. Right here, I got this shirt. Forgot to mention that. This is the first Fright Rag shirt I've ever bought. So that's how much I like Halloween. That I made sure that Halloween was the first Fright Rag shirt that I ever bought. Got Linda being strangled with the phone cord. It's a funny scene. There's like subtle humor in this movie with the whole like sex noise. She thinks like she's hearing sex, but it's really murder. Just that's a joke that's been done to death at this point, but in 1978, I bet it was kind of a new thing, so I don't know, maybe it wasn't. But yeah, the whole he's just out there at the end, that's an Evil Lives On ending that I appreciate, because this is before Evil Lives On was like a box that needed to be checked, like, we need to have the killer make it at the end because, that's it. We just need to check that box. Evil lives on, no explanation. In this one, it's like he's somewhat supernatural. How did he survive that? He's out there. You hear his breathing over all the different like locations that he was at. The way it's done is better than all these other like copycats of like Evil Lives On. They just made it. And whatever. You know, how, like, if you've seen enough of my reviews, you know I always complain, like, oh, evil lives on. It's so dumb. Like, how you explain that? In this one, it works for me. Not because it's just a classic and everybody loves it, but because this is before that became a trope and a cliche, and it's done in a way that makes sense. It actually adds to the eeriness of the film, the way they continued with the whole breathing thing. You know, just like he's out there. And that's another little thing I want to say about Halloween 2018 very quick. I don't like that he got captured. They could have easily just been like, he's out there, and then he just came back 40 years later. And it would have been more viable, and it would have been better. But whatever. We're not talking about that movie no more. But yeah, Halloween, number one. It had to be. I love it. Great movie. Saw it all the time growing up. There's some nostalgia there, of course. Dr. Loomis, he's great in this movie. It's the best Loomis. So many iconic lines. Just awesome. And yeah, that's my number one. Let me know what your ranking is in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this. If you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button. And if you want to become a subscriber, you can do so just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, Auf Wiedersehen.